Live from New York City, it's your friends and mine. It's the Sports Lordz.
Hey-o.
Yes, sir.
We're all here, the Sports Lords. I'm Diego Martinez.
I'm Jimmy O'Connell,
And I'm Kevin Cobbs.
and we're Sports Lords.
We're the Sports Lords. We're here live. Guys, we're so pumped to be here. And we've got so much sports to cover and so much time to do it. So, without further ado, Diego, kick it off big time.
Gladly. I think we've all been stewing since the last time we met. Because a lot has happened in the world of sports, especially in our world of sports.
Yes, our Atlanta-centric sports world, but this Atlanta sports story kind of went national a little bit.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
People were talking. Our new superstar player, Ronald Acuna, had been tearing up the big leagues.
He was on fire. Yeah.
He had hit, a home run in 8 straight games?
Something crazy like that.
I personally saw him hit 4 home runs in 3 games.
Yeah. He was just destroying people, mostly the Florida Marlins, who are garbage, as always.
Miami Marlins.
Oh, excuse me, Miami Marlins.
They're now the Miami Marlins.
That's
Miami
right.
Marlins of South Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is on fire, having hit a home run at the first at-bat in like 2 consecutive games. So in the final game of the series, the Marlins decided to, on the first pitch, throw the ball directly at him and plunk him in the elbow.
Yeah, it was a real shit move.
It really is.
It really made me angry. Also, yeah, because I saw it. I wasn't watching the game live, and I saw the clip on Twitter, and it made me, it really pissed. It cheesed me off. I had a couple beers, and I did some rage tweeting about it, which are still documented because, Twitter is forever, and I don't take anything back.
Yeah,
Unless people get mad at me, I'll take it back.
Hopefully you won't have, you won't be offered a job on TV or something important because those tweets will come back up.
Yeah.
Especially if,
My plan is if I get any hint of success at any point, I'm going to just delete all of my Twitter.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because if you delete it, people can't find it, right? Or is it logged?
I don't know how that works. You might be fucked, man. I'm sorry.
I might be fucked.
But that's only for, a job in entertainment, because if you want to run for office, it's going to make it easier.
Anything goes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, Goldman Sachs will definitely take you, Kev.
All
and
right,
I know
cool.
that's where you're working towards.
That's kind of what I'm kind of going roundabout to get through comedy, and all the jobs I've ever taken were to someday get my foot in the door at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
So as you guys can clearly see, we're still cheesed off. Still the show started, no small talk, nothing funny, just straight into telling the story. And I think the thing that added to our rage was the fact that some douchebag who played for the Mets named Keith Hernandez also got on the horn on TV.
He's an actor who appeared in Seinfeld who happens to have played for the Mets.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's beloved, I guess, up here for some reason, but the
people that these
know nothing about
these
him.
creeps love in the New York sports scene. It really turns my stomach. He's one of them. Mike Francesa is one, and Keith Hernandez is another. Where it's how do you like these guys?
Yeah, I mean, there are sports personalities all across this country who are idiots, right? But
True.
in New York, they think their idiots are special for some reason.
Yeah.
So they
think their idiots are the best.
Yeah.
And to be more specific, Keith Hernandez said in their a Mets broadcast, that essentially what he said is that he thought that hitting Acuna was the right thing to do for the Marlins, which it's why are you getting in the business of 2 different teams? And
well, when the Mets are that bad.
Yeah, the Mets suck ass, so he's got to talk about something interesting.
But the thing I found the most offensive, because when he was talking about it, he said, hit him in the fanny,
That's right. He did say Fanny.
And that, I think, is the most offensive thing of it all. Can you imagine him being on the team and telling, hey, pitcher, will you go out there and hit that guy in the fanny?
Yeah.
Like,
And
are you
if the
Well, maybe he
pitchers
meant
are-
man.
fanny in the British sense, because in Britain, fanny means vagina.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I had no idea.
yeah, it has this other meaning. Like, hit him in the...
Yeah, here's the quote I found. They're killing you. You lost 3 games. He's hit 3 home runs. You gotta hit him. I'm sorry, people aren't going to like that. You gotta hit him. Knock him down. I mean, seriously, knock him down if you don't hit him. You never throw at anybody's head or neck. You hit him in the back. You hit him in the fanny.
And by Fanny, I mean buttocks.
Yeah,
Is what he should have
Yeah,
clarified.
That guy is so stupid. There's no way he knew what the British
Yeah.
terminology
No,
was.
he didn't.
I mean,
He
Yeah.
didn't.
I mean, I'm an idiot too, and I didn't know, but like, he's dumb.
It's
There's
an
no
obscure
way he
thing to
knew.
know. I only know it because I'm a pervert. But
Well, yeah.
I,
You got all these Fanny tapes down here.
yeah, hey, don't comment on anything you see in my room on this podcast.
Wait. What? We're in the studio.
Oh,
what
we're
are
in
you
the
talking
studio.
about?
Studio.
That's
I
my
meant- I
bad.
said my room because I basically live in the studio.
You basically do because you
Yeah.
you work so hard.
I
It's
work
like,
so goddamn
you
hard.
might as well just live here
providing
in
for
the
my son's
Sportatorium Studio.
Sportatorium Studio. So Keith Hernandez says this bullshit, and we were talking before we got on mic about how we hate the Braves TV broadcast team, which is the one that we're fans of. They're
terrible.
not so great.
They're bad.
They're bad.
They're bad.
But I think this is especially offensive because he's basically saying, yeah, I support people possibly injuring 20-year-olds who are doing really well.
he wasn't
Who's
showboating.
doing well on a team that's winning, and he's getting hit by a team that has no shot at anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you want to potentially ruin this guy's season? You know, that wasn't just the pitcher's decision either, or at least I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt it. Because it was the first pitch of the game, right? It was another.
And it was
week.
the hardest pitch he's thrown as a first pitch. You know, baseball gets crazy into stats, and the stat was like it's the third like hardest pitch he's thrown all season or something, and it's the hardest one he's thrown like right away to like lead off a game.
Yeah, I don't know, because then this is kind of what we're getting into, is talking about unwritten rules of baseball, and it's like I don't know, because it's been so long since I was on a baseball team. I don't know how these pro teams work. Like, did they literally tell him, like, was it like, oh, you gotta hit him, Urania, you gotta get out there and throw at him, or was it everyone solemnly like looking at each other and nodding and being like, we know what we have to do? But I'm guessing that someone told him that he had to do it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like Don Mattingly's their manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like an old school guy. And yeah, like all this Braves talk or whatever is like leading us into something I've thought about forever. And I'm not a baseball player. I never played baseball. I was too scared. And also just like didn't grow up with it. But yeah, I think the unwritten rules of baseball are just stupid. I think it's all dumb. I think it just shows how fragile baseball players are and how like scared they are of like, I don't know what. I honestly don't know.
Sometimes it's like the unwritten rules seem to be there just to prevent the game from ever being too much fun.
Exactly.
Because there's been a lot of like, not celebrating home runs. There've been players who I've seen specifically with the Braves where seems like the manager doesn't like them because they are openly having fun on the field.
I think it has something to do with baseball's roots going back to like the pre-industrial era where life was just drudgery for people. Like they died when they were like 40 and like the happiness wasn't allowed,
Yeah.
Baseball was born.
How dare you be happy in front of me? I just lost all 4 of my daughters last year.
Yeah, like
In the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory
Yeah.
fire.
Throw
Or
the
like-
orb and get on with it.
yeah, like half the country just died in our civil war. There's nothing to be happy about,
Grab
and there
that-
never will be again.
Grab that log and go hit that ball. And be serious about it, sport.
Throw in some racism too.
Yeah, of course. But I think that you've got a point there that might be part of where those roots lie. But it's really upsetting when you see those rules come out in this way, where it's like sometimes I agree that like throwing at a player might be necessary retaliation, but I don't think it's necessary retaliation when it's just literally this guy was doing well, and they're like, we don't like that. Let's hit him.
Well, it's like some of the unwritten rules aren't terrible. Some of them are just like kind of common courtesy or like help in the game. So like one of them is like in fly balls, like defer to the center fielder if he's coming on and calls you off as another position player. Like usually the center fielder has a better look at it. It's just like a strategic thing. Like he's kind of the outfield captain. You know, like don't steal third with 2 outs or something like that, I think is one of them. And it's kind of a practical thing because you don't want to get out and leave a runner in scoring position and not even give your hitter a chance. Like that's kind of an unwritten rule. Those make sense. I think those help the game.
Yeah.
The classic ones are kind of superstitious and stupid too. Like don't talk about a no-hitter while it's happening.
Dumb as hell.
Yeah.
That's dumb, but I even get that one where it's like,
it's a fun.
It's a
fun thing.
It's harmless.
It's a dumb superstitious thing. Back when they believe like
curses are real.
Yeah, or like
gotta drain your blood to cure your of pneumonia.
And then like there's some that are like another one that makes sense to me. Don't steal bases when you're like way ahead, when you're blowing out. It's like that's like a respect thing if you want it. I sort of agree with it, but I don't because I think you got to play to win the game.
Yeah.
And if you're that good and you're stealing bases, like go for it. But at the same time, like look, if you don't want to show them up,
it's kind of
all right.
One's, you know, you can kind of relate that to like not running up the score in other sports.
But conversely, based on this full disclosure, I'm looking at I don't know all these rules. I had to look them up on the internet. So this is according to Bleacher Report, baseball's 25 biggest unwritten rules. Right underneath that, don't steal bases when greatly behind.
Yeah, that one doesn't make sense.
Yeah, how's that work?
The explanation on the article, and I'm going to quote here. If a team is down 11-0 and the man on first tries to steal second base, it just looks bad. It's really disrespectful more to your own team than the opponent since it doesn't help much. The extra base is not going to be the difference maker.
Well, it's sort of like in life. If your life is going bad, you should just crawl into a gutter and die.
Exactly.
You shouldn't. It's just you're disrespecting yourself by trying to get your life together or trying to, come back in life when you've had a bad run of luck.
Just quit. Just give up, man. For our sake.
For
we
our
don't
sake.
Want to see your sorry ass keep trying.
Who likes to see comebacks?
Nobody.
Who likes to see a team battle back from being a lot of points or runs or whatever down and
it's
come
never
back
fun.
and yeah,
no one enjoys that.
And also like conversely to that, when going back to the stealing when you're up, when life is really good, you got to stop doing good things. You just want
that's sort
to
of
just
the central
settle.
That's a central tenet of capitalism too.
Yes.
And we see that time and time again where these guys they amass a ton of wealth and then they're like, all right, well, I'm good. And they stop attaining.
Like, I don't need it anymore.
That's why, hats off to the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Elon Musk,
Kevin's tipping his cap.
I'm tipping my cap. I'm sorry, that's visual.
It's okay.
But
we felt it.
I just want to throw one other thing out there while we're mid-list here. It's important to remember that baseball players are probably the dumbest of all professional athletes. 'Cause when you think about it, most of them don't even get a year of college,
Right.
A lot of these guys are drafted straight out of high school, and so they're just brought up in this dumb culture that's been perpetuated for like 150 years. It's like, at least in the NBA and pro football and hockey even, sort of, I think, you have to have some other experiences outside of the sports world.
Don't sell yourself short. You're a hockey expert, Jimmy. You talk about
I love
hockey
hockey
incessantly.
Yeah.
Growing up in Decatur, hotbed for hockey.
Go hockey.
Go hockey. And I think that there's something to that they probably are the dumbest athletes.
I mean, I don't want to, obviously there's some smart ones in there.
Of course, but there's a lot of dumb ones. Like whenever you hear about, this guy's a real cut up on the field. Like, I remember they used to always say about the Red Sox, they're like, that team that won their first World Series in 2004, they'd be like, oh, man, we're a bunch of idiots. We're just a bunch of cut-ups. And they were like, God, Kevin Millar.
Oh,
that guy is so
Kevin Millar.
funny. They're just like, guy's a practical joker. He's a maniac. And now that guy's all over TV, and he's like Guy Fieri's idea of fun. It's like, the level of humor in that guy is so. They're so dumb. They thought that guy
But-
was funny.
But
Yeah,
like,
he
look,
was- yeah.
no, go ahead.
He was the most charismatic guy on that team. They were like, oh, that guy can talk.
yeah,
exactly. know?
But that was like the most lovable team. I mean, any team led by Kurt Schilling, as we've seen how cool that guy
yeah,
is,
He's great.
The
is
coolest.
like such a lovable fucking
Yeah.
team, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fake bloody sock he did, that was...
Fake, what?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was totally
He was
real.
bleeding through his ankle, my
yeah,
guy.
somehow his ankle was bleeding. What a hero.
Yeah, just to go back real quick since we got on this, it's like we were talking about the New York Keith Hernandez and their
Yeah.
intelligence and how dumb the New York people are. They're still not to the level of Boston. And you're going to see this quick theme of shitting on Boston is going to continue.
Yeah.
Sorry all
gonna-
our fans in Boston. Like, we
Yeah.
love you. We just don't like you.
I enjoy the city of Boston. I'm going there in like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have my
Ooh.
first trip to Fenway.
Look out.
I'm excited, but goddamn, Boston sports fans, fuck you. And I think that is going to be a recurring theme. Is we're going to start shitting on New York sports media and sports teams, and then it'll devolve into shitting on Boston.
Yeah, because then it's like I'm on board with it when we're crapping on New York, but it's like, wait a minute.
We're leaving out the worst one
There's
here.
still
Yeah.
another.
yeah. But yeah. So wait. So
But getting back to the
Yeah,
some
the
more
Written
unwritten
rules. I
rules.
sidetracked
Sorry.
us there. Let's
No, it's okay.
sidebars are always fun, and that's something you're also going to see. We love a good sidebar.
Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of them. Some of them not sports related.
Yep.
But what are you gonna do?
But hey, there's more to life than sports.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah. So here's the one: if a pitcher hits a teammate, hit one of theirs. That's like the other big
See,
unwritten
and
rule.
that's one I think it's kind of fucked up, but I can still kind of get behind.
It kind of, because that one translates across sports. Like in football, if a guy on the defense like kills your quarterback or like blows up one of your receivers, typically you want to stand up for your teammate, and when you go out there, like lay a big hit on theirs if you can. Or like in basketball, if a guy goes in the lane and he gets like knocked over by the defense, you're going to bring back a hard foul when they come back. So I sort of get that, but the difference is that in those sports you don't have a 100-mile-an-hour fucking ball coming at you that you can't move out of
Yeah.
the way of or protect yourself, really.
Yeah. I mean, in those sports, hitting guys hard is what football is.
Exactly.
So, it's within the rule of the game.
And if it's not, you're going to get penalized for it.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's that one. I mean, the tough part with hitting a guy in retaliation is you have to know that the guy who got hit on your team was intentionally
It was
hit.
intentional, yeah. Because if it was an accident and then you hit someone on their team, that's just cruel.
Yeah.
And the other thing about this rule is it makes sense because it's retaliation, eye for an eye. Ronald Acuna and the Braves hadn't hit any of the Marlins. It
Right.
was just because he was playing well,
yeah,
which is a totally different thing. It's much more of a dick move.
right.
It's a dick move, and it's I guess they're maybe in their minds they were like, these guys are embarrassing us. Let's stand up for ourselves and get it going for ourselves, or I don't know what, but it's that's insane. If you're just losing badly at a sport, it's just the worst sportsmanship to hit someone because you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, you're just look, guys. You're starting a cycle of violence and perpetuating a cycle of violence, right?
It's what it
And
is. It's what do you call it? It's toxicity.
It's
toxic-
toxic masculinity.
That's what it is.
It's toxic masculinity. And
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. We're going to get that chant going at every sports event we go to for the next year.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
It's going
That's
to
a
work.
Sports Lordz promise.
Yeah, for society.
Yeah.
For the betterment of society.
If we've learned anything in these last 2.5 years, is that chants work.
chance work.
Chance
work.
Chance work. Chance
work.
All right, back to the written rules of baseball. Here's another superstitious one. Don't step on the pitcher's mound. The pitcher's mound is apparently a sacred place for pitchers only, so other people shouldn't be totally stepping on it, which I see broken all the time when the manager comes out and they have a little huddle
Right.
when they want to
Oh,
replace
wow.
a pitcher.
That's one where it's like, imagine getting pissed off about that. Like, you know, I've seen it
Yeah.
happen, and it's just like, come on, dude. This is my mound. Oh.
One of the arguments is, like, in reading the explanation, some of it makes sense. So it's like in between innings when players are running off the field, you know, pitchers kind of like kick the dirt the way they want to have it set up for themselves, so they don't
Gotta
like
get
slip
my
and
dirt
fall.
right.
You know, you got to get that dirt right. So running over it, I guess, in between innings could fuck that up potentially. But then again, you have a different pitcher coming out every other inning, does their thing. So I don't really get it, but whatever. I didn't play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get that. I never pitched.
Me neither.
I couldn't throw. I think I pitched one time in Little League, and I walked the bases loaded.
Yeah.
So, and
I guess it's just like a weird territorial thing or something. Where like, I'm in command of this game.
right. And I think it's, you know, to be fair, pitching is such a hard and specific skill that I think it's probably a delicate balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you like the dirt a certain way. That way you can throw the ball 95 miles an hour, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean-
and it's like, you know, here's one that goes back to another topic that we had hit that I think Jimmy hit about having fun. And this one also drives me crazy. Don't admire your home run.
Come
Fuck
on.
you.
That's a weird one, but it's one where it's like, if Acuna had done that, maybe that's why they would have hit him. But he didn't even do that. He didn't even admire his home
But even
run.
if he admired his home run and he has like had fun with it and sticks his tongue out, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Hitting a home run is very hard.
It's
Yeah.
extremely hard.
And why not have you're playing a child's game.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and like you've said before, like pitchers celebrate strikeouts
Right.
and shit. Why is that okay, but a hitter can't celebrate a home run?
I mean, there are celebrations in every sport for things that happen way more often than home runs do in baseball. So
I
Lighten the
hate
fuck
when
up.
celebrations in general at any point get shut down, even if it's against my team. It's like, yeah, I hate it, but if it was my team doing the same thing, I would love it. So just let them have fun. It's a fucking game.
right.
It's a
Like,
game.
I saw a game the other day where the guy hit a walk-off home run. I think it was the Cubs against the National. Dude hit a walk-off home run, and when he rounded the bases, his teammates ripped his shirt off of him.
Whoa.
It was pretty sexy.
That sounds
But it's
sexy as hell.
excessive, and it's like that didn't seem to be a problem. But if he had just stood there for like 3 seconds, and yeah, I mean, how cool would it be in baseball if you could celebrate? Like you see the ball going out, and like do a dab or like do some kind of dance. That would be amazing.
You know what's funny? The opposite of that is like every now and then you'll be watching a game and it'll be like Johnny Johnson, 34-year-old minor leaguer, just called up for the first time this year. He's never made it to the big leagues before. And the guy hits a home run and like fucking sprints all the way around
Yeah,
the base. Like, this is a business trip. They take it so fucking seriously. I'm still in Little League. My coach is going to yell if I don't run
Yeah,
around
exactly.
the bases.
There is. It's like this extreme humility in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weird humility, but then you grab your balls and spit everywhere, so that's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. How about this? How about this one? Like another unwritten rule: if you get hit by a pitch, you're not supposed to rub or touch yourself where you got hit
That's dumb.
because it shows weakness.
Don't rub your fanny on the field.
Ouch, my fanny. You hit me right in the fanny. It hurts so badly I have to rub it. But I can't. Oh,
Because the rules.
how badly I wish I could rub my little fanny.
Maybe one of my teammates will slap it for me, because that's okay.
Yeah, that's like you can't rub your arm if you just got hit. But
No.
you can. Yeah, it's like constant. Like I think every sport does it, but I feel like baseball, there's a lot of butt slapping,
yeah.
and I mean I have no problem with that. I'm not.
A lot of
you
butt
know.
slapping, a lot of ass grabbing, a lot of
Yeah.
Fanny play.
fanny play.
But I mean,
a lot of
once
took
again,
us touching.
yeah. it's a toxic masculinity thing. Like, you can't show feelings of any kind. You
It's
can't show
abused.
any weakness.
Can't show that you're hurt. You can't show you feel pain.
Yeah. No joy, especially. That's
Yeah.
not allowed in sports.
Even though you just got hit with 100-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
fucking rocket.
Right.
Like, that's the other thing, like, going back to, like, a lot of these rules, it's like people like Heath Hernandez and these old fucks who still, like, wanna go by them. Guys were throwing 90 miles an hour at most, maybe, back then.
And they're all, like, fat.
The ball is now coming, like, triple digits.
Yeah.
It's, like, different.
Yeah, it's way different.
It's fucking different. How do you feel about this? Don't bunt to break up a no-hitter. Because I'll say your job as a player is to get on base and to not let the other team do good things. So, because it happened a couple of years ago, or was it last year? I don't know. But it happened a few, like, at some point, there was a guy, it was like a guy who had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning. A guy came up to bat. They did the shift. They shifted the whole infield to, like, the left side because they knew he was a pull hitter or something. So the whole third base line was open, and the guy just bunted down the third base line and got on base. And it was like they were mad at him for breaking up a no-hitter. I don't know what the score was. If it's a close game, like, fuck it. Like, get on base. You want to win the game. Who gives a shit about this other team?
At first I was like, let me think about this. And then I thought about it for like 2 seconds. I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, yeah, the object of the game is to get on base. Like, if I were a pitcher throwing a no-hitter and I knew that a guy, like, I don't know, did, like, the other team wasn't trying everything they could to, like, get a fucking hit, then what good is the no-hitter?
Yeah, exactly. And I would agree with that. And I would say it's like to bunt, to break up a no-hitter like that is bad sportsmanship. I would agree with that. But I wouldn't say, like, there should be an unwritten rule not to do it. It's like, okay, my opinion is do it, but you as the other team are within your rights to be mad about it. But that's what makes sports fun, is people get mad and it's competitive. Like, the whole fucking point of sports is to be competitive. So if it's like, guys, we could bunt and beat this no-hitter right now, and we would be like, because getting no hit is embarrassing as a team.
Yeah.
It's like, we could avoid this embarrassment and piss them off, but let's not do it because this is a game that was invented during Lincoln's assassination or whatever. Like, so it's like, yeah, that seems to be like the competitiveness of sports is sometimes it's like, it seems like these things, yeah, I think what you said earlier, it's like there to preserve people's feelings and shit.
Which in a way, like, it kind of doesn't really, like, jive with the rest of the stuff because it's like you're worried about, like, you're concerned about the other pitcher's, like, outcome. I don't know. It's just like, it's almost a snowflake thing.
It's a snowflake thing.
Snowflake alert.
I ain't no cuck.
It is a snowflake thing in a league that is probably, I would bet baseball has the highest, like, Trump voter quotient of any league.
Got to. It's the whitest, so by
While
that,
also
yeah.
having the largest percentage of Latin American players,
Yeah.
that you want to build the wall for.
God bless this
Well,
nation.
and, like,
God
it's
bless
not
us.
even the whitest, because hockey.
Well, hockey's the whitest, but I
it's
don't.
also
Who
a
counts
sport-
hockey?
a sport
And
that
golf.
is- yeah,
Like,
like
who the fuck is counting golf?
Americans make up a very small percentage of the NHL, whereas
No, but I
Major
think
League
what you
Baseball
mean
is
is like the fan base. Like I feel like it's like a very
the fan
like
I meant
base.
the players.
I meant the players.
Oh,
too.
you meant the players?
I mean, but
Okay.
I was really just thinking baseball, basketball, football, because those are the sports I care about as a
Right.
red-blooded American man.
as first fan base, probably. I don't know.
I would say probably. I mean,
I
the
don't know.
NFL might. The NFL's up there.
Whatever the most
the
popular
whites
s-
love the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whites do love the NFL.
Well, before we get into solving racism in this segment, go back to the unwritten rules of baseball. That we've ranted quite a bit about like our specific dislike of them and like speaking of the Braves, and it got us thinking too. Beyond that, what are the unwritten rules of life that we all follow every day? Because we all have unwritten rules and things that we all abide by.
I've stifled several farts since we've been sitting here.
Thank you.
It's an unwritten rule.
Appreciate it.
You don't fart while you're podcasting.
No.
Yeah, if we weren't podcasting, Kevin would be letting them rip,
Unless
baby.
it's directly into the mic
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
right.
comedic purposes.
Yeah, which we'll talk about.
We're saving.
Yeah,
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 we're
yeah,
saving.
we'll get to that.
It's a good. Let's keep listening.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for our.
Look, we know you're
pre-
here.
finale.
You're here for the fart content. You're just gonna have to sit tight, okay?
But yeah, like what are like unwritten rules we follow? Like I know the one that like the first one I thought of because I clearly maybe have issues is like when you go to a party and you bring a bunch of beer, you leave it if you don't drink it. You don't go back in like, oh, these 2 Bud Lights were mine. I'm gonna take them home with me.
Yeah,
You just
well,
leave them in the fridge.
And we have a friend who routinely doesn't
Routinely
adhere
will-
to
yeah.
that unwritten rule,
We'll
and
just grab those beers and take them on home.
you know, if you're
And a few
listening,
other condiments and things. That he's
yeah,
bringing.
whatever he brought, he
It's
knows
coming
who
with
he
him.
is.
Yeah,
We
you
won't
know,
name
you know
names.
Who you are, but yeah, it's like it's
But they're
polite
like-
to the host. It's like
yeah.
they probably have to clean up and shit, and they like especially living in New York City. It's like people live close together. It's a lot to have people over to your apartment.
You're hosting. You're providing the venue for the event. So
It's like
you-
the tax.
yeah,
it's like a
exactly.
little tip.
It is. Yeah,
Leave them a little tip. Leave them a couple of cans of Narragansett
exactly.
or whatever garbage you brought over.
Yeah, that's a good unwritten rule. I'm trying to think because there's lots of like unwritten rules that are like outdated, chivalrous.
Well,
ones.
I've got one that I realize, I guess, is outdated. Now, like, especially in New York, everybody goes everywhere with their headphones in. Me too. I mean, everybody does it.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too. But especially when I know I'm about to interact with another human, whether it's like in a store or whatever the circumstances are, I go ahead and take my headphones out just to like give that person the basic level of respect. Like, hey, I'm listening to you.
Also,
I can
from
hear
a practical standpoint, you can
Yeah.
just hear them.
Exactly. You can hear them more clearly. But I work in retail, and I routinely interact with people who feel totally comfortable leaving their fucking Apple ear pods in, and you already like kind of look like an asshole with the little white thing sticking out of
Yeah.
your ear, and there's something just like, I don't know, it feels like a weird status thing when somebody's like, I don't actually need to hear you clearly, I just need to get what I'm looking
Just
for.
a gesture will do.
Yeah.
You need to hear me,
Right.
but I don't really care what you're going to say.
That's what it feels like, especially when it's like a customer service interaction. You're like, oh, okay, well, fuck you.
I work in an office and people do that shit to me.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy as well.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Just
Right. Like, what are you, a robot? Just
like
take
how
the thing-
good is the podcast you're listening to?
Yeah.
Like what hilarious bit is Mark Maron doing at the beginning of this WTF episode you're listening to that you can't stop? You got to hear him shit his pants.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm coming after you, Mark Maron.
Also, I don't know if he's done that shit his pants bit in like years.
I haven't listened
gotta
to
get
it
up
in
on your
years. as you can
Maron.
see. Oh man.
It's great now. He's very successful. He bought a new house, and it's. I kind of want the old bitter bastard back, but he's gone.
The first 20 minutes are hilarious.
No, they're not. It's just him.
Oh.
Like, yeah. So it's just now. It's just a successful dude.
Good for him, I mean,
No, I'm still bitter and unsuccessful. I'm mad about it.
so he moved out of that cat ranch?
He's gone. Yeah, he has a new house, and he won't say where it is.
Oh man.
He used to tell people what neighborhood he lived in. Anyway,
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, couldn't be more.
Yep.
That's the most appropriate use of thanks, Obama.
Anyway, my rivalry with Marin will continue, so
Yeah.
Boston, Marin, you've been called out already.
You're on notice.
You're on notice, bitches.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
unwritten
mine-
rules.
My unwritten rule. I mean, mine is very New York specific. One that really bugs me, and I'm sure there are a lot that bug me, but when people don't observe the let people off the subway before
Oh,
you get
yeah.
on
Ooh.
the subway. It's a large city. The subways are a nightmare, and the way it runs best is if everyone observes specific rules, and one of them is when the train comes to a stop, everyone's waiting to get off, everyone's waiting to get on. You stand to the side of the doors to get on. You let everyone off. Then you get in. And I so often will have some fucking old bastard standing right in front of the window. I'm looking right at him. I'm like, dude, you better let me off before you get on. And he'll just like push his way past me and get on.
That's infuriating too when like the train you're trying to get on is really crowded too, and you're like, I gotta get a spot in this train, and you're trying to let people get off, and somebody like squeezes past you while you're waiting for like another 40 people to get off the fucking train. You're like, come on, man, wait your turn.
Yeah, the rule should be if you bump into me, then I can retaliate by bumping into you or one of your dumb kids. Just like in baseball, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's do baseball rules.
We should just try that. Just, like, push over somebody's kid if they bump into you.
Hey, it's an unwritten rule, man.
Right. I don't make the rules. I just
if you get a seat, you can't smile or look like you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Just like when you hit a home run, you can't celebrate.
Yeah.
I haven't really taken the subway much in the last couple weeks, and I'm still miserable. Sometimes it's like, well, I got to give the subway system a break because it's such a giant city that it services. But then you go to like other major cities and see their subway systems, and you're like, this is so much better. Why does ours suck so much? Anyway, it's the crooked politicians and the liberal media and the bankers and the...
We got to drain that swamp.
You got to drain the swamp.
Once we get that swamp drained, I think those trains are going to be running better. Right?
Are there any other unwritten rules like in life that we, there's always the classic escalator one. Don't stand on the left if you're not moving.
Yep.
It's kind of like driving, don't be in the left lane if you're going to drive slow, which no one follows in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, another New York-centric one is when people are taking up the whole sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 3,
Tourists
4 people walking.
especially love to do that.
Yeah.
They're like not fucking
Spatial
aware of their
awareness.
surroundings. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go to comedy shows, don't talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
We're not there to listen to you. We're there to listen to the comic, even if they suck.
Yeah.
There's airlines. Like when you go fly, it's sort of similar to the other one I said, where it's like, hey, there's an unwritten rule. It's like when we're deplaning, just wait for everyone to get out in front of you, and then when it's your turn, quickly grab your stuff and go. Sometimes people will try to sneak past, or they'll slow the operation down.
Yeah, actually, I think it was the last time I flew. The woman sitting next to me, she was sitting in the aisle seat. Like, she had unbuckled her seatbelt. She just had her one, like, under the seat bag. The instant they turned off the, like, unbuckle your seatbelt sign, when everybody, like, gets up to grab their shit, she fucking bolted out of her seat and got to the front of the plane.
That's fucked up.
I'd never seen that before. I was like, damn.
It's like, unless you have a connection, but even if you do, you ask. You just tell people, look, I have to make this connection.
She just, like, forced her way through. She was the first one up there.
I kind of respect that.
I mean, she was like, it was not the first time she'd done this. Like, she knew what she was doing.
Well, speaking of airlines, we'll do a little Type 5 on this.
Hell yeah.
Oh, what's the deal with
airplane food?
No, I hate it too. Conversely, when you're getting on a flight and they start doing the announcements that, we're going to start calling, and everyone rushes up.
Yeah, they're all just...
We're going to the same fucking place, and you have an assigned seat. What are you doing?
The only reason you would be in a hurry is if you think you're going to run out of overhead storage, which occasionally happens, but
then you'll just put the bag underneath the plane, and you'll get it when you get out.
I don't get that, how people all just huddle up, and it's like... And every time, sort of jumping on when you said, because I'm usually flying by myself, and I've got, like, earbuds in at the airport. So if I get there and they're about to board, and I'll see my gate and there's like 50 people hovering, and I'm like, what's going on? Did they start boarding? And they're like, oh no. I'm like, what are you fucking morons doing then? Yeah. You have an assigned seat, and they're gonna call 4 groups. They're gonna call like veterans, people,
like
rich people
who have membership to the airline and stuff, Sky Miles members, Admiral Club.
Yeah,
basically,
members,
they call everyone.
Kids.
They call everyone up who's ruining the planet.
Yeah,
so those people
hear that,
get
troops?
on first.
Troops
Kevin
and
Cobbs
kids.
hates troops.
Suck
Troops,
troops.
kids, old people. Fuck off.
But they call all those people up, and so it's like, why are you in a hurry? We gotta let those fucking monsters get on the plane.
Yeah.
Also,
first.
why do you want to sit on a plane longer than you have to?
Yeah,
it
it's-
is the worst place to be.
Exactly. The experience already sucks. You're just making it that much suckier by doing that.
Just anyone listening, I support taking Xanax before you fly.
You heard it here, folks. Drugs
Support
do help.
That drug for that experience.
Kevin Cobbs for drugs.
Kevin Cobbs,
all about
pro-drugs.
drugs. Don't take it recreationally outside of that, but like if you can get your hands on some to fly, mwah, mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, on that note, do you think we should move on to our next?
Yeah, I think basically, if you're still listening.
Yeah.
Most of this will be edited out, right? Like me shitting on troops and
Yeah,
supporting drugs.
sure.
Oh yeah, that's
sure,
gonna be
sure,
gone.
sure,
Yeah,
I'll totally edit that out.
yeah.
We edit these podcasts heavily.
Heavily
so everyone
edited.
knows. But yeah, like in conclusion, don't be dicks. Like I think that's what we kind of came up with.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Keith Hernandez sucks.
Keith
The
Hernandez
New York subway
sucks.
system sucks, and Boston sucks. I think those are the big points.
Yeah.
And Ronald Acuna is good at baseball.
Yeah,
Yep.
and as Joe Simpson begged people apparently on a Braves broadcast, if you're in Atlanta, go see the Braves. Drive out of the city of Atlanta to go see the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, go up to Cobb County and see the Braves. They're good, and it made sense to move them out there.
Yeah, it's clearly working.
Yeah. Great decision.
We're being sarcastic. Fuck that
Yeah.
fucking shit.
Boo. But anyway, I guess we'll be back with more fun after these messages.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Lords. We all took a nice ice cold shower to get all that anger off of
Yeah,
us.
we're no longer cheesed off.
And we're not cheesed off anymore. We're actually excited because Jimmy had to step out, but me and Diego are about to interview a very special guest. So to give you a little background on this guest, Kevin, have recently been watching a lot of sports doc type series, starting with like 30 for 30, HBO's Hard Knocks, where they follow one football team in preseason, a pro team. Last Chance U on Netflix is a really great one where they follow the junior college team for a whole season. And, there's tons of good ones out there, and I recommend all of them. But I recently watched a new one. It's called QB1, and it was where they followed 3 different high school quarterbacks for their senior year, right before they go off and play for a big Division I college football team. And, it's interesting because it's made me think more and more about how these players get scouted when they're younger and younger. One of the guys from QB1 was committed to a college when he was 14. And it's gotten younger and younger, and that's kind of what brings us to this guest. He's the number 1 ranked 11-year-old quarterback in the country. Yeah. He's already committed to the University of Texas, the Longhorns, where he will be attending in the fall of 2025.
Assuming he graduates.
Assuming
high
he
school
graduates and everything.
and
he
middle
doesn't-
school.
doesn't get injured and everything like that. But he's a number 1 11-year-old quarterback in the country, and his name's Bryce Montana. Bryce, thanks for coming on Sports Lords.
Thanks, buddy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You're a real. I have to say, your manager, your dad.
That's my dad.
Your
He's
dad-
my
he's
manager / agent / dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad third.
That's so cute.
Agent first.
Yeah, he sent along the tapes of some of your highlights
It's
from
pretty
this?
sick, right?
Yeah. Oh,
It's
totally sick.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Mike Vick.
Yeah,
right?
you're like Mike Vick. Your dad's actually here. Hey, Dad. He's not on mic, but he's waving. He manages you. He sent you the tape. Man, you've got a real gift. You're a real talented football
Thanks.
player.
I mean, God has blessed me with these skills, and I'm here on earth just to make the most of them,
That's a
And-
great attitude.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
and just get that money too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And-
okay.
You're a
okay,
ways off from
yeah,
that.
and pussy. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey,
I mean, I know what
Hey,
pussy.
Dad, is
I know
that-
what pussy is.
Dad, is that okay?
Dad's.
He's cool with it.
He's on his phone. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not paying. Okay.
No, let's
well,
talk.
look,
Let's talk.
And just
yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
talk.
But
before we go further, I just also want to say, like, for the NCAA, in case they're listening, since you've already committed to Texas, we did not fly you out this time. You were on vacation with your dad
Oh,
here.
no, yeah,
and
we
you
had-
happened to stop by.
we-
We normally fly out our guests to New York, no matter where they're from,
No,
but we
yeah.
didn't this time.
yeah, we didn't want to.
No,
get
you
in any
guys-
hot
Getting in any
water.
trouble.
Y'all didn't pay. We got money. We got other people's money. Now y'all's money.
Okay, Bryce.
Oh.
Careful. I
Yeah.
just want to say
What?
careful. Well, it's like you don't want to. The NCAA is very
Look,
strict
it's
about
cool.
their
It's cool.
recruiting.
Well, Bud, I'm just curious. Why did you choose Texas already? Why did you already make your choice to go to University of Texas Longhorns?
Yeah, it's a long way from your hometown, Pomona, California.
Yeah.
where you
Well-
play right now.
Austin is like, it's the ultimate party city. You know what I mean? And like, I think by the time I get to college, I want to have a good time. I'm already working really hard. I'm 11 years old.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a vacation already.
What
You
do you
know
know
what I mean?
about partying? Like, what is
Yeah, what is your
I mean-
idea? Of
what is your
a
idea
party?
Well-
of party city?
Okay, so like, a dope party for me. Okay, is like,
Okay.
is all my boys come over. Okay.
Uh huh.
Now I got an Xbox One Pro.
Whoa,
Okay, and I got Madden.
Mhm.
I got NBA 2K. Okay? I got Fortnite. I ain't a bitch. I got Fortnite.
Okay. No one.
So all my boys come
No
over.
one's calling
all
you
my
the
boys-
B word.
All my boys come over
Yeah.
and like this is crazy. We get crazy, okay? We hang out in my basement
Mhm.
and we get wasted. Yeah.
You guys are drinking. You're 11.
Yeah, we're drinking.
What are you drinking?
What are you
Like like strong beer.
strong beer?
Yeah.
Like what kind of strong beer?
Like that hard this stuff with the it's got extra alcohol in it, like,
Mr. Montana, do you know about this?
he's cool. Dad, don't worry.
He's
Just
Dad,
keep looking at your phone.
He's not looked up at it from
Yeah,
his phone.
he's
since he
cool.
got
So
here.
be
He's
clear,
cool.
that's not Joe Montana that we're talking to.
No, this is no
This is
relation to
no
the
relation.
No,
Joe
I'm
Montana.
way
It's
better than
Joseph
Joe Montana.
but it's not the same one.
No relation.
But wait, you're saying really strong?
Yeah,
Bryce,
you
I
know,
don't- you're
beer.
getting a little
like
cagey. I'm
what's
getting
the strongest beer you could think of?
I don't
Well,
know,
think
like-
of a strong beer.
like
Some like a rogue IPA of some
We're-
sort,
we're-
maybe.
Rogue IPA. That's what we're drinking.
that's not
We get crazy down there.
Look,
We're
you're getting a little
we're
cagey. You're
crazy.
acting.
We're
It seems to me like you haven't actually partied.
You don't
What?
have to pretend.
It's cool, man.
No,
Nobody
I'm,
parties.
I'm the best 11-year-old quarterback in the fucking country, okay?
Watch your language.
Hey, that's
Look, you're not
we're-
my dad.
I know.
Your dad doesn't care.
Exactly, okay? I make the rules because I'm the best, and I like
Okay,
to party.
You know what? We're getting off on a weird foot.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to
Oh,
be.
all right.
We don't want to be attacking. We don't
Okay,
want to fight.
yeah.
We're excited to have you here.
Cool,
We want to treat
cool.
you well because you're a guest.
Cool.
So, tell us about playing against. What's it like being 11 and being so ahead of the competition? Like, how are you able to psych yourself up for a game when you blow out every team you play? You make these amazing passes. You run. You kind of do it all. Explain how you get your competitive spirit up before a game.
That's a really good question, actually, because it's pretty hard, because I've been so good for so long, and I've dominated everyone I played. Sometimes I'm like, why am I even doing this? It's too easy. I'm too good. So it's hard getting ready for games,
Yeah, sure.
But I try to dig deep, and I try to think about the money and the pussy that's going to
Okay,
come my
Kyle.
way.
All right.
Okay.
What?
No,
What?
it's just it's really unbecoming to talk about women that way, and also like.
Look, I'm a
And also-
baller. I'm a baller. Okay.
But usually
Has
you
your-
just
you
pay
guys-
some lip service to love of the game. Or,
Do you guys dads let you watch HBO's Ballers? Have your dads let you?
Well, I haven't watched that show.
No.
Have you watched your dad's? Because my dad lets me watch
Oh,
that.
God.
And that's what I want to
I
be.
don't even know. That seems like an inappropriate show for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, it's not.
You guys don't watch that,
No.
No,
bitches.
I don't
don't.
watch
Oh,
it.
bitches.
And also, my dad doesn't really get to tell me what I can and can't watch. He's
Okay.
well, I'm a grown man.
Oh.
I'm
Why?
an
Oh.
adult.
Oh.
Stop
What
doing
is-
that.
Why
when
are you
I'm
doing
talking.
that?
Because he's a little bitch.
I'm not
Stop.
a little bitch.
Stop giving me the finger.
You're a little bitch too.
I haven't said anything, man.
Man, I'm.
Look, you guys got to give me respect to get respect, okay?
not
And
how it
I'm not
works.
feeling a lot of respect.
All right.
We-
All right.
Again, we're gonna try and let's talk
We're
about.
gonna be the bigger grown-ups here. Let's
Okay,
reel it back
all right,
in.
cool,
Yeah,
cool,
I
cool.
want to ask just real quick about you've trained with a couple of pretty famous quarterbacks who sort
That's
of been
right.
mentors for you. I know you spent some time training with who was the NFL quarterback you were training with?
Oh,
You went to Peyton Manning's camp, right?
I did that, which I hated, because Peyton Manning is lame.
Hey, I won't fight you on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
UT
not
grad,
cool.
and I'm with
He's
you.
not cool. But my dad made me go because he said it was important for me. But I trained with Ryan Leaf,
Oh, geez, that's
and that dude is cool as hell,
okay.
man.
Well, I have to disagree.
That guy
because
is
Ryan
cool.
Leaf got he's been arrested. He
Yeah.
had some drug problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's arguably the
That's-
biggest bust in history.
yeah, but he parties, man. You know?
It's sort of like him and Peyton Manning were drafted the same year,
Yeah.
back to back, and
Yeah.
one went on to be great, and one went on to sort of turf out, and his
But-
life
But like,
is like a mess.
what good is being great if you're lame, like Peyton Manning? You know what I mean?
Okay, well, you also trained with a very promising guy from the show QB1 that I mentioned, Tate Martell, who's
Oh yeah.
he's sort of got a reputation as a bit of a bad boy. He's got like a full tattoo sleeve, but he's playing
Yeah.
for Ohio State.
He's
now.
cool. He's like my big brother.
Yeah,
Like I
what are-
look up to that guy.
What are some of the things he taught you about playing that stuck with you?
Well, number one, swag. Like you gotta have that swag,
Okay.
especially if you're quarterback.
Yeah.
Because like your teammates, they need that. They need to see that from you. He's got the swag.
Hey, that's
That's
something
important.
that all
That's the
quarterbacks
first
should
one.
probably agree with
athletes
to
in
some
general,
extent.
yeah.
Sure. And then I'd say like number 2 and 3 is probably a tie between like, focusing. It's the same thing. Number 2 is just like you got to focus on that money and that pussy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's ultimately why
God.
we play the game,
Oh,
right?
boy.
Am I right, yo?
Bryce,
You
I
guys
don't think
un-
you are right. I think
No.
I think you've got a really, and I can kind of see why, because you've got such an absentee dad who seems to just be, he's just here to profit off of you. I don't know where your mom is or if you have siblings, but like
It seems like you already have CTE or something
No, I don't
going
you've
on.
got a pretty regressive view on women, and I think that's that's upsetting because they make up half the population. They're people. You can't
Look,
objectify them like
I re-
that.
I have a mother.
I respect.
I have a sister.
I respect women. I respect your mother and I respect your sister. Okay, but like, look, I'm 11 years old. Okay, so I know what sex is. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm
Yeah,
having.
no, hold on.
I'm having
what
it all
is
the
This
time.
is.
I'm
I
having.
can't believe I'm asking you, but explain sex.
Okay, so this is what goes down with sex. Okay, so like, sex is like, a girl. Okay, she like.
It seems like you're stalling.
Sex is like, it's like a girl that you like. You like look at her the right way after the game, and then she'll come over to your basement after your parents go to sleep, and like, you guys will like, watch Moana.
Watch Moana. Is that the end, or are you in the middle of it?
and like, and then the sex happens, and that's the sex part, and then she goes back to her house. and that's what sex is,
Oh no,
right?
This
Right?
might need to be edited out.
Right?
I mean, it probably
It's
probably
creepy.
So
would,
that's-
but look, Bryce, I think you're doing a lot of posturing, you know,
Well,
and we talked earlier in
I'm
the
a
podcast
baller.
about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
What's that?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's
but it's
you.
Is that on Ballers? On HBO
Yes,
Ballers?
it's what Ballers is.
Is that-
It's Ballers.
Okay, so it's dope.
No, it's not dope. See, it's
You're
when you get
explaining it to an 11-year-old is impossible.
just maybe don't get so focused
On money,
trying to
money, and you know,
No, don't.
money.
No, I'm not gonna go
I'm-
there with you. It's like
Come on, say it with me. Money, and
no, we're not gonna say it with you. You can't
No?
make us say it with you.
No,
All right.
you're not going to trick me into
Look,
saying
you
it.
can't
Okay.
be so focused. Going through life with that kind of mentality is going to make you and everyone around you very unhappy.
You got to
Mm.
enjoy playing. You're a kid.
Okay.
Enjoy it. You don't have
Okay.
to commit to a school yet. You can just dominate
Well,
and be good.
You know, I don't know. I guess it's different for y'all because you're not special like me.
Hey, that's not
So you know, you
It
guys.
is true, though.
God-
It's true, but
God
at least
bless.
pretend it's not.
I mean,
true.
this is what my dad always tells me. Like, God blessed me specifically because He loves me more than everybody else.
you
and
taught
so,
him
like,
this.
Normal people suck, and like you don't need to worry about, like, honestly, two nerds in a basement in New York.
Hey,
Studio.
we're not nerds. It's a studio.
It's just okay, whatever. It's like, honestly, I don't know why I should even be listening to you guys. 'Cause like, what are you doing? I'm 11 years old. People already know my name, bitch.
All right. Well,
All right.
a couple things here. Everything you said is fair in that last diatribe.
Okay.
Okay, but you know, I have a feeling something bad's gonna happen to you, Bryce. Something real
Yeah,
awful.
puberty's coming, my man.
Well,
And
You gotta have a little humility in this life, otherwise people are gonna want to take you down,
yeah,
and they will.
okay. Well, you know, I guess
people can retaliate.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know
It's
if
an
that's
unwritten rule.
that's a threat, but
I'm not doing anything
Look-
to you. I'm not threatening you.
okay.
Anyone listening, I'm not threatening an 11-year-old boy.
Because, you know, I got to be me at the end of the day. So, look, I'm going to respect you guys, what you've been telling me here. But, you know, I'm a baller, just like on HBO. So, like, I got to live that lifestyle starting now.
Okay,
I can't
look,
start once I'm in the NFL. I got to hit the ground running. Okay?
I feel like I'm gonna regret what I'm about to ask you, but I have it written down here, and I
Lay
gotta
it on
ask
me,
all
bro.
these questions.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I wrote down here. You know,
Yeah. Come on.
11 years from now, you sign your first contract with
Hell
the NFL.
yeah.
What are you gonna do with your signing bonus? This is why I don't want to ask this.
Okay,
yeah,
so
no, totally.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw a big-ass party for me and my boys.
Yeah.
And, like, I imagine by then there'll probably be, like, Fortnite 10 or something. We'll play Fortnite.
Okay.
We'll get a bunch of strippers to come over because,
Oh,
like, they do sex and stuff.
no.
No.
So,
they
some
don't?
No,
some
no.
of them do. Some of them do. That
Maybe.
happens on Ballers. That happens on Ballers. So,
Okay.
basically, there's a party from season 2, episode 4 of Ballers that Dwayne Johnson's character has at his mansion in Miami. So, like, my plan is I'm gonna buy the exact same mansion, have the exact same party, and I'm gonna pay the cast of Ballers to come and like act out that episode. And I'm also gonna like drink strong beers and do sex. So it's gonna be dope as hell.
To be honest,
Look, I'll be cool. You guys are invited if like you're still alive or whatever, because you're
we're not
definitely
that
you
old,
could
dude.
die.
We're not that old.
It's yeah.
We're probably
You
younger
might
than a lot
die.
of the people in Ballers.
You could both be dead.
That's true. You could be dead.
Well,
Who's
I'm
your
blessed.
favorite character on Ballers?
I'd probably say I'm gonna have to go with Rob Corddry's character.
Oh yeah.
Do you know his name?
It's he's like an agent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised that that's who you gravitate toward. And
Not The Rock and his character.
Well, you know, The Rock is cool, but there's something about just like the smart mouth agent that really I relate to, because like he's almost more about that money and that pussy
Is
than the
Rock
Rock's character.
not an agent as well? I think they both are.
Oh yeah, he's an
But I also
agent.
get like too much Rock. Like I get it. We've
Yeah.
had enough.
There's a lot of him.
Him and Thomas Middleditch. Cut it out.
Who's that?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's
Sounds
guy
like a
from,
nerd.
He's the guy from those Verizon.
He's the face of Verizon.
Oh, okay. That nerd?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
If
a
I went
nerd.
to school with him, I'd shove his ass in a locker. I bet
mean,
I could kick his ass right now.
I bet you
I bet you could. I
Yeah.
actually will
Shit,
agree.
I'll kick his ass. I ain't scared. I ain't scared.
I know you're not.
No one's saying you are, my
I
man.
ain't. I'm not scared of stuff. I don't get scared.
You
Oh.
just started crying.
Why are you
I'm
crying?
never scared.
What are you scared of?
He's
I'm not-
crying
I'm
and
not-
giving me the bird at the
No,
same time.
I'm not. I'm not scared. Okay? And I don't know how much time we have left here. So, like,
got
do you
time
have
for-
other questions or what?
Just, I guess, what's your advice to other kids out there who want to be the next Bryce Montana?
Look, if you want to be Bryce Montana, you got to listen to what your dad says, even if he's really mean to you.
Oh, my God.
And he doesn't seem to care, 'cause you got to get that money and that pussy.
So much
Oh,
snot
it's
coming out of his
just-
nose.
It just got really sad. Well,
Mr. Montana, like your son, he's not even in the room. He left.
He doesn't care.
He walked out.
well, I feel weird being alone with you in this room. So,
Okay.
Bryce, we're gonna walk you out. How about we get you some pizza, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Get a New
that'd
York pizza.
be dope as hell. Like a
Okay.
Domino's. Let's get a Domino's.
Sure.
There's better pizza, but if you want Domino's,
Let's get Domino's.
Okay, we'll get Domino's.
Sweet.
All right. Well,
Thank you for being here.
Thank
you
you.
for being so honest with
Thanks
us.
for having me.
yeah.
Stay blessed. Less blessed than me.
Okay, man. Well, there it is, folks. Bryce
Peace out.
Montana.
Keep an eye out for him at UT Texas in Austin in 7 years from now.
Hook 'em horns, right, buddy?
That's right.
Okay. Thanks. We'll be right back after this.
Truck wings.
Mic check, mic check. Hold up. Oh! We gonna go to the ATL with this shit right here. Turn up, gang, turn up, gang. Dab on, dab on, dab on, dab on, dab on, dab on.
Welcome back to the Sports Lords. It's time for everyone, especially our favorite segment. We're gonna dab on some people.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to dab on them.
So basically, Kevin, Jimmy, and myself, we're going to get about 60 seconds to talk and rant and rave and dab about any subject we want.
Yeah. And not only is it going to be about 60 seconds, each one will be exactly 60 seconds. And how do we know this? Because I'm going to time it. And I'm going to call the dab.
But Kevin, how do we know when it starts and ends?
Well, that's a great question, Diego. We're going to know it starts and ends because you're going to hear the audio version of a dab, which is...
Whoa, you just got dabbed.
Yeah, so when that sound sounds, that means it's the end of the person's dab. So, 60 seconds on the clock. Diego, the dab is yours.
All right, with college football starting up in just a couple weeks, I was thinking about this, and this extends beyond college football, but that's where I think of it. I'm going to dab on classy fans today. Yeah, I can't stand people when you go to a game and something happens and they complain. They get mad. It's like, oh, real classy Georgia fans, real classy like Oregon fans. It's like, who cares? You're just mad because your team got punked by the other team. Like if someone gets a big sack and they celebrate, let them celebrate.
Deal with it.
Yeah, there's nothing unclassy about having fun. We were talking about this earlier, and we were talking about the unwritten rules of baseball. Fun is what this is all about. How do I know this is bullshit? Because I've done both things. I've been the guy complaining about other fans not being classy while immediately turning around and celebrating and shoving stuff down their face. So, classy fans, shut up. You're getting dabbed on. Also, on a side note here, Sticking to college football and SEC along the same lines, no one ever in the SEC needs to call another fan base a bunch of rednecks. Because guess what? Y'all are.
Boom.
Except for maybe Vanderbilt. You're a bunch of dicks. And Classy fans, you got dabbed on. End of rant. That's it. I'm so dabbed out. Ugh.
Dabbed on him. All right, Diego dabbed on redneck. That was
Classy fans.
He went over his time, but I let him because
sorry.
The dab was real.
I'm sorry.
Now we got Mr. Jimmy O'Connell next. Jimmy, dab on him.
All right, I'm gonna make this dab real quick. We're all Atlanta sports lords, and
Amen,
so
brother.
I'm gonna dab on the Atlanta sports haters because they're real. And for some reason, a city that's only got one major championship to its name gets all this hate, mostly because they think our fans don't care. But you know what? Atlanta's a college football town first, okay?
Amen.
So there, all the loyalties go there first.
The rest of the country, they're outside of Southeast, most of them, college football sucks there.
Exactly. So, that's what we put our energy into, college football. Also, outside of the Braves of the 90s, there hasn't been a great product for Atlanta fans to get behind for most of the city's history. So when you give them a good product, they show up. So,
But then those good products end up being the Super Bowl from a few years ago.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
So we've been through what we've been through.
We've been through a lot. So to all you Atlanta sports haters, I'm dabbing on you.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's a real dab, and I'm gonna round out the dabs by talking. Last time I talked about Boston sports, but get ready because I'm about to dab on the assholes who decided to move the Atlanta Braves Stadium to Cobb County. And this isn't just about Atlanta. I know maybe some of you are thinking, I don't care about Atlanta. I'm tuning out. Well, guess what? Fuck you. Turn the ears on and listen to this because you need to hear this because it's not just about Atlanta. It's about these assholes who own sports teams who extort cities in order to get them to pay for sports stadiums.
It's fucked up.
And a lot of people blame the Atlanta City Council and the mayor. And, yeah, it's partially their fault because they gave a ton of money to build that other stadium.
They
where the
fucked
Falcons
up, too.
play. But these stupid fucking owners moved this stadium out to the suburbs thinking that that's where people want to go watch a game because they don't want to go to a scary neighborhood because you're going to get robbed and your car going to get stolen. Well, fuck you. That's part of living in a city, you piece of shit. There's more people, so bad shit happens sometimes. But you know what happens in the suburbs? Fucking nothing.
Except traffic.
Nothing except traffic and your lame stadium where no one goes because it fucking sucks and it's empty even though your team's good because you done fucked up. So I hope you get fucking murdered. Dab on them.
Whoa, dab.
That's a dab.
Man,
Whew.
that feels good.
Yeah.
Worked up a lather there.
Yeah, totally. But
No, that
it was worth it
yeah.
and very justified.
Yeah, I think we all feel a lot better. I can feel the tension in the room's dissipated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out of breath, but
Yeah.
it's good.
In a lot of ways, we're like these professional and college athletes.
A lot of ways we're like them.
In that we
Except
can
for
sit,
that 11-year-old boy.
except for the 11-year-old boy, Bryce
Yeah, I
Montana.
missed
I'm
that.
nothing
How-
like him.
How did that go?
Yeah, you were out getting a hoagie, so you missed
Yeah.
It was weird.
it. It was weird. He
Oh.
was a little too, let's say, mature for his age in some
okay.
ways that you might not
He's
like.
been in the spotlight too long already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the hoagie was good.
Good, that's
yeah,
good.
It was a good
I hope
hoagie.
it better have been. You drove all the way to South Jersey to get
I
it.
did. They
Yeah.
got good hoagies down there.
They do. It's where they have hoagies. They
It's
don't call them
that's
hoagies
right.
here.
It's hoagie country.
Hoagie country, South Jersey,
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah.
Get you a hoagie.
Get you a hoagie.
Get some water ice.
Get some wood rice. Go watch them Phillies.
Oh, man, I'm getting mad. Think about the Phillies now.
Well, save it for next
No,
week
it's
Phillies.
okay. It's okay. It's.
because, guys, I think that's Sports Lords.
I think that's gonna do it. It was an intense episode tonight. A lot of grumpiness and anger. We got
That's
out,
what
but
we
you know you
bring.
gotta get it out.
it's
Yep.
that Tuesday anger that you got to get out.
Yep.
It's good to get it out here instead of out in the streets. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that's gonna do it for us tonight. I think we learned a lot. We
I think so.
Yeah. So, Sports Lordz out.
Sports Lordz out.
Lording out, my man.
Lording out.
Yep. Boston sucks.
Fuck Boston.
Dab on him.